Well, hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back here to Velocity Online Racing, and welcome back to the International IndyCar Racing League. This is round number 9 of this season, coming to you tonight from Iowa. My name is Ron Maunz. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Sébastien Kinder. Julian Altena is our producer for today's broadcast, using track cams by trackcams22.com and onboard cams by Julian Altena. Pace car down pit lane. The green flag flies and the drivers are on their way. And we're racing here in the moonlight in Iowa. Good start there from your front runners, trying to lead it off into turn number 1. Get off to the best start that you possibly can. But already seeing a side-by-side squabble heading into turn number 3 and 4.
And that was Jason Lowe taking advantage on David Stritt. So already two well-established name in the International IndyCar League, duking it out with Matthias Strauss as a spectator right now.
And so Strauss maybe going to try and get involved in this fight here soon, looking down the inside of Stritt as he heads his way off through turn number 3 and 4 here on this second lap. It's Lowe leading, and a caution flag out already.
That's Iceman.
And as he heads his way through turn number 3 and 4, going to lose control right in front of the lead pack as well. That was sketchy.
Yeah, cold tires will get you. It's been a while since I've seen Iowa at night, and I don't particularly like the way he hit the tire barrier, the outside wall, I mean. I hope he doesn't have wheel damage on that.
Small little split in the mid portion, or top 5 getting away as we see some side-by-side racing heading into 1 and 2. Right now, Matthias Strauss trying to get a move done here on Stritt, side by side as they head their way through turn number 1 and 2. And just like that, going to be able to get the move done, jumps his way into second, looking to try and get that move done in any way imaginable. Is up for the race lead. Matthias Strauss looking for it on low, side by side downtown into turn number 1. And Strauss holding on to that inside line, going to take the race lead. Strauss now punches out to the top spot. Looking at a fight right now, this is Weitzel and West side by side and squabbling here for 5th. Weitzel trying to hold off, but West looking for it down the inside, punching out to the advantage and getting that spot. But Weitzel once again on the cutback, trying to make something work down the back straight away. We'll see if he can make it work as O'Sullivan trying to make the move work, heading into turn number 1, fights for it down the inside, sweeping around with the banking, and he is going to take that spot. O'Sullivan now punching his way up into second. As I'm already seeing those strategy games begin to get played as we have a little side-by-side battle heading our way out of the pits between Lull and Fiolis. I believe that was as very slow out of the pit stall and spinning there on the apron. That could maybe bring out a yellow if that driver ends up on the racetrack. That's the 76 of Gill around. Been able to get back up and rolling, rejoins the track without any further incident, but that could have ended in disaster, and it does end in a yellow. It's Fiolis. Fiolis against the outside wall.
Fifth in the championship, by the way. Wow. Gale already had a first warning coming out of the pits, and nice little 360.
Oh, he had contact.
With David Stritt, I think it was.
But it was contact, and a high-speed contact at that. Stritt, he should be counting his lucky stars, because that really should have ended in an airborne collision for him.
Yeah, it was nearly. It nearly ended up, in an IR18 style crash.
As we are back to green flag racing there, don't worry, stuff happens as we keep an eye on this pack. Already seeing some drivers squabble up for some position as we've got a little battle right now here for the race lead. Strauss looking for it on Sullivan. O'Sullivan drifting up the track a little bit, heading his way out of turn number 4, and now going to take that race lead. Matthias Strauss back up to the front. Yeah, so Christensen able to get the momentum, but not much more than that, as we saw a driver come down pit lane there on the bottom of the racetrack, and Christensen finally able to jump out in front, jumps into P4. Gill now going to feel some pressure with Weitzel there as well. That 76 car has been a bit of a flow state here in this race, as Strauss now breaking away and coming down pit lane to the first of our true top contenders, our top 3, now in and away. That worked out great for the 63. This is working out really good in these drivers' favor, but Law going to lose out on both spots, gets his metaphorical doors blown off by O'Sullivan and Strauss. He's going to exit out right in their slipstream, right in their coattails, but a small little gap to try and pull out as he wants to draw closer to them. And of course, speaking of
look
here,
at this! Oh, big crash!
trouble!
Wow, that was Jason Lowe, I think it was.
may have potentially been Ford. I'm seeing him drop down a bit as we take a look.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Oh my goodness me. Oh, that was a wild ride for the both of them. We follow Ford. Just like that, the car decides to swap ends, heading into turn number 1. Small little wall tap there, and that's what did him in. And huge contact for the both of those cars. Some short track oval pedigree already here this campaign as we're back to green flag racing. O'Sullivan punches out early, but Strauss and Law were briefly side by side as they headed their way into turn number 1. This could maybe end in a swap for the race lead. Strauss has certainly been quick, looking for it down the inside of O'Sullivan, who put on a defensive masterclass earlier on, but not enough to take it. Side by side, heading our way down the backstretch, riding on board with Matthias Strauss there, briefly took the race lead, but O'Sullivan comes back on him. Yeah, he is really making his presence known right there in that number 30 car. And speaking of, he's going side by side with Strauss, heading through turn number 2, onto the back straightaway, in through 3 right now. Strauss looking for the comeback there. That was a brilliant move. That car was rotating so strongly, I thought he was about to spin out. But no, he goes for it there. He's got to take P2 once more as it nearly ends in tears heading out of it. And that caution is going to play right in the hands of those drivers who probably need a break, as it's David Stritt in trouble. That's unfortunate. I believe it was Heitzma, the other car, that made contact with him. We ride on board with Heitzma heading off through the turn. Yeah, that's the problem with going side by side through the turns here. On exit, especially at a 2, there's that one point of evil where the two lines always merge with one another, and that's when the contact's always going to go down. Unfortunately, just a simple little case of the turn 2 conundrum.
Yeah, that's just how it usually is.
We're about to get a restart here on lap 113. Maybe unlucky for some, could be lucky for O'Sullivan, who guns it early and heads his way into turn number 1 with a comfortable gap. Lal, though, gonna look for it. He was hunting there right towards the end of that last green flag run. You know, he's looking for a little more. Yeah, that he absolutely did. Already 0.8 of a second clear, and certainly helping out is Strauss attacking on Lal. But they're gonna be packed in together once more as we're back under caution. Running high up on the track. Here comes Kellen Ford right behind, trying to go for it into turn number 3 and 4. This has been the section where it ends in tears in the past. Contact came there and vaulting over the back. My goodness me. Gill getting a little bit tight as he headed his way through the turn. Weitzel right up in front, kind of acting like a bit of a pick in this fight as Christensen gonna say, you know what, I'm not gonna feel pressure. I'm gonna put some pressure on somebody, and they made contact heading out of there. Weitzel in trouble, damage on that race car, ping-ponged off the barrier. We remain green by some stroke of luck. Oh, maybe gotta fight for it on Strauss, just waiting for one of these drivers to trip up so he can get a run. Look at that, already on the top of the red line as he ended his way through into turn number 1, top of 6th. Lull able to jump his way up in a second in the blink of an eye. So a duo of drivers coming down into the pits. That's really the first time throughout the entire night that we have seen a call be unified to come down pit lane. Those top 2 breaking away at the same time. And after what was looking to be a very unfortunate race for him in the early stages, things have actually cycled out in his favor as of late, as he's going to lead 1 lap, come down pit lane. That right there, I believe, was Fiolas that was just stopped there on the bottom of the racetrack. That or he got abducted by a UFO. Either way, as we have a yellow.
That's
It's Gill trying to take the race lead from those drivers that were running out there, as we will load up the replay to show you what the deal was. And it was spinning down for the number 25 of Ryan Bowles. That was the appetizer before the main dish, which was the accident for Gill. Here he was, rather slow. I think he was struggling big time. Yeah, massively cold tires and a massive impact to go with it.
And look at Heitzman. He's like, oh god, it's going to be yellow. Oh god, it's going to be yellow. He's waiting. He sees the light for caution, and good for him. And now this is the scary part. Is like, please don't calm down. Please don't calm down. And thankfully for him, Gill was on the brakes.
And so that's how it stands, completely shuffled up, packing an intense fight here. 21 laps left to go, and one of these drivers are going to be able to taste the champagne at the end of it. The real question is, who's it going to be? O'Sullivan looking for it on edge, able to get that move done, lickety-split around the outside through turn number 1 and 2. He's on the charge. That number 63 car's come alive. as we have gone throughout this race. This could be real interesting. They're all closing in on one another. The gap between O'Sullivan and Heitzma closing down now to less than 0.2 of a second. Heitzma closing up that gap to Strid. How long will it be until we have a full-on 3-car fight for the race win? O'Sullivan looking for it down the inside, drifting up as he heads his way through the track. Thought that was going to work. It did not.
Maybe a bit of adjustment needed on O'Sullivan's part. That car got tight into probably reduced the front roll bar.
Strid, on the other hand, really running defensive. O'Sullivan now on the offense, so goes for it down the inside. Once again, gets tight through the turn. Heitzma on the cutback. O'Sullivan just not good in the dirty air, and Heitzma is all over him like a bear rug. Oh, there it is. Oh, baby, looking for it on the high side at there, running around the outside with the Trailer Park Girls, trying to make something work there on the inside, on the cutback, switchback. Fantastic move there. Gonna look for it on P3. I don't think O'Sullivan has that dog in him, to say some little bit of slang here as we get towards the end. Don't think he's got the car underneath him to really contend for the win. Lal, on the other hand, I think he may be able to do this if he can get the move done. Gonna try and get intimidated. Got a little bit tight through the turn. Now Heitzma gonna have a good run. Contact made though. Big contact. Not that good break in the wing there of Heitzma. I think he may be all right. I'm looking at the front end. Maybe a little bit of damage, a small little bit. No, he is good to go. Music to the ears of that number 22. Not so good for the 48, who's still having to worry about it. Now on the inside though, Heitzma swapping sides like he's flipping burgers, going for it, but once again drifting wide, and Strid gonna be on the attack. Look at O'Sullivan though. Mighty run.
Oh, that would be a story, knowing that Heitzma
and Heitzma gonna escape away with the race lead as they pile up behind.
It's over.
That's it. Things are getting really intense in this battle. It's like looking at a pot as it starts to boil. You're waiting for it to boil over, and the time came soon. O'Sullivan was on the cutback. I think a little bit netcode stuck those two cars together.
Oh, netcode.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was thinking it was netcode in the iRacing glue, and that's exactly what it was. What a dramatic finish here in the Corn State. It's going to be Heitzma coming across the stripe under yellow to win it here in Iowa. What a finish. We will take a look at your race results. Anthony Heitzma scores the victory over Amon Lal in P2. Matthias Strauss will round out your podium in third. Dan Ensch will come across the stripe in fourth. John Christensen gets the nudge out there over Mike West to complete your top 5. Noah Gill in a roller coaster ride of emotions. It was his spin that really set the seeds for what could have been a massive loss for him in the championship points fight. It ends up becoming a gain as a result of that late race collision. He ends up in P7. Not a good result for the driver of the 76 car, but just enough to grow that championship points lead just a little bit more.